So this year Rotary is co-hosting the volunteer fair here, and we also do have a booth here, and we're here today. We're always looking for new members, but we're also just looking for people that are interested in helping out the community and helping us out with some of our projects. So just volunteers, whether or not that's helping us plan a new project or just helping us every week pack for our Nutrition on Weekends program. We're just looking for any sort of assistance. So Rotary, as a whole, it's basically a group of over 1.4 million members in the world, and essentially we all come together with one common goal: service above self. And locally, we're a group here of about 45 members, and we basically do what we can to support our community, whether or not that's financially in giving out grants or financial assistance to programs here, but also doing those things as well. So you'll notice that there are lots of things in the community that have Rotary symbol on it, whether that's the Peace Park, the Splash Park, the Rotary Trails, the Geyser. Those are things that we all helped happen. And then there's just our action items as well. So we're out in the community doing things, whether or not that's highway cleanup on garbage, whether or not that's Nutrition on Weekends, packing food bags for low-income families every week that get distributed to our local schools. We're feet on the ground in Kenora, in our community, doing things that support everyone here. I see my favorite thing about Rotary is the impact we do right here in Kenora. Well, the stuff we do around the world, it's amazing, but you can really see the difference in Kenora. And my one tip to you would to encourage anyone to come to a meeting would be to take a look at the community and think, could it be the way it is without volunteers? And the answer is just no. No community is going to be able to thrive without the assistance of everyone here at the volunteer fair. So having people like Rotarians is what's going to make our community better. And so if that's something that you're interested in, I highly encourage you to reach out.
A number of years ago, and I can't remember when, before COVID, maybe 2018 or so, Rotary actually ran a volunteer fair here. And I attended that, probably had a table at that event. But since COVID, volunteerism has really dropped off significantly, nationally, not just here in Kenora, but everywhere. And there are percentages as high as 80% that organizations have lost that percentage of volunteers. And people are slowly coming back after COVID, but it's still slow. And there are lots of volunteers that are needed for all kinds of organizations. And they vary in what you might be asked to do. You might be asked to be on a committee. You might be asked to help serve a meal, deliver a meal, walk a dog. It's any number of things. You'd lose a lot if there were no volunteers. Volunteers are essential for every community and many, many organizations. Even like the hospital, for instance, probably is one of the largest employers. So they have lots of employees, but the employees can't do all the work. They need volunteers to supplement the activities that they have for patients and visitors that come into the hospital. Volunteering is an opportunity to give back to your community. A lot of people feel driven to do that, and that's a good thing. It's a way of getting hours if you're a high school student, but that's a mixed blessing. What we really need are young people to become volunteers as young people so they will continue to volunteer throughout their life. I've been volunteering since high school. And I continue to volunteer for a number of organizations and always have. Well, there has been a very good turnout for this fair. We were busy getting set up, and then all of a sudden it was 1 o'clock and people were passing me and they were actually coming to the fair. And I thought, oh, good. But people have been coming in and out all afternoon. So it has been really well attended, and hopefully it's been beneficial for the organizations that have been here. And we have organizations that include service clubs like Kinsman and Rotary and the Lions Club. We have the cat shelter, and it's a dog's life. So there's organizations like that, the hospital, the Muse, community support services, which organizes all kinds of activities like Meals on Wheels and friendly visiting and Club Day Away for older adults that need to be able to get out of the house and have something meaningful to do with other people. So there are all kinds of organizations that really have something to offer for everybody in the community, whatever age you might be. In Kenora and in many organizations, what we lack is something like a volunteer bureau or it needs to be a paid position that's a volunteer coordinator for the whole community, so that different organizations could check in. Or if I want to volunteer and I'm new to Kenora, I could call the volunteer bureau or the coordinator and find out things that I might be interested in. I might want to read to an older adult or somebody who's blind or young children that need stories. There would be any number of things like that. Well, we meet regularly. We try to organize events. We've been a co-organizer of this event today. We were going to have an older adult fair at Seven Gems this past fall, but unfortunately we didn't get funding for that, but we put in for funding again for this coming fall. So that's usually very well attended. So we'll be having another older adults fair. So we're interested in making Kenora an age-friendly community. This is actually a designation from the World Health Organization. So there are different features of age-friendly communities. They are ones where buildings and public spaces are accessible, that people feel respected and included, that they're able to participate socially, that they are able to volunteer, they're able to get adequate health care that is appropriate and respectful of their age. And in fact, although we focus on older adults, it's really any age. So we want 6-year-olds to be respected too as community members and not just patted on the head, for instance. So it's really all ages. When we make a sidewalk accessible for an older adult that may have a walking aid, a walking frame or cane or something like that, you've automatically made it accessible for someone that's pushing someone in a baby carriage or a stroller or something like that. People who volunteer actually live longer. People who volunteer are healthier. And that's because they're engaged. They're engaged with other people. They're always giving, but in the giving, you're also receiving. It's a two-way street being a volunteer. You get a lot out of it. And that's why people keep coming back to volunteer for other organizations or the same organization year after year, week after week.